Hi, I'm American Gay Atheist, and I have something I want to talk about. I was recently on the site of of Paul, that movie about the little alien and his two friends who travel throughout the Midwest, and there was a fairly anti-religious feel to the movie, and on Internet Movie Database, somebody brought this up and was very angry about it. And they made this comment. They said, but see, you're making the fatal mistake of trying to apply human logic in an attempt to comprehend the Almighty. I replied this because I was so incensed by that particular comment. Yes, because the instant you apply reason, intelligence, or rational thinking to the concept of God, the whole religious milieu completely falls apart. Only fantasy disguised as faith allows for an omnipresent, omni-knowing, etc., etc., supreme being. People continue to buy into such absurd nonsense because of the instinct fight or flight mechanism, in a vain attempt to keep themselves alive, even past the certainty of death. This fantasy convinces them and allows them to believe in God, heaven, nirvana, or whatever their particular after-death belief is. All total nonsense, fed by the mind's ability to create spiritual feelings and other types of ethereal experiences, including borderline psychosis in the worst case. These experiences are bogus. Nothing more than the disturbed mind playing tricks with the mistaken belief that it will keep the person alive and their body and soul alive and away from the terrible reality that all living creatures eventually die and cease to exist. Here's a perfect example of individuals taking what is essentially an ordinary experience and perverting it into a spiritual type experience. Most of you have heard of near-death experiences where someone experiences a tunnel of light and voices and hears some of their relatives speaking to them, etc. It's a completely explainable phenomenon. Every jet pilot or astronaut who's ever trained to fly jets or go into space had to train on a centrifuge. It's a chair at the end of a long pole that spins you at a fast speed to create G-force to see how you handle it. At higher G-forces, people pass out. Just before they pass out, they have the exact same experience of a near-death experience. They see a tunnel of light, they have auditory and visual hallucinations, and finally pass out. The effect is nothing more than the brain being deprived of oxygen. The same thing that would happen if somebody was having a death experience where they died and they were revived very quickly. Again, this is just another example of how people take ordinary things and make them spiritual, ethereal, religious, etc. Besides, here's another issue, the whole idea of morality. You can be kind, interested in your fellow man's welfare, fair to others, and have a wonderful moral code without any belief in a deity or a book of superstitious writings. Morality did not come from religion. Religion hijacked morality in order to gain control of large masses of people. God did not create fairness. In fact, if you're familiar with the Bible, you will realize that fairness is almost never applied. However, cruelty, rape, murder, genocide, slavery, bigotry, and other atrocities are in abundance, unfortunately. That's my opinion. This is American Gay Atheist. Goodbye.